Alright, you open this up.
Okay.
Alright.
Are you ready? Because last time I tried to do this, you kept like.
I'm just waiting on you right now.
Okay. Hi, welcome back to the Todd Partnership.
No.
Please don't
You
do
set
this.
yourself up. You set
How?
Alright.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because I can't trust you.
You can trust me. Go ahead.
No, I can't. That's
Let's
your
go.
word.
Let's go.
Hi, welcome back to the Todd Partnership. I'm Jennifer Todd,
I'm Xander Todd.
and we are
The Todd Partnership.
So today we're going to be talking about how conformity to what we believe is normal equals slavery.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Just seeing different people just following trends and following what somebody else is doing just to get clout, just to get recognition. And it puts you in a form of slavery, mental slavery, where you're just bound to what somebody else is doing. And like the number one thing that popped up in my head just now was this whole craze about licking ice cream in the store. Like just going to the store, filming yourself licking ice cream or spitting in ice cream. Like people are doing all this stuff. And like,
I'm not here for it.
I don't know, that's not normal. I hope it's not normal. But people just
It can
following
become
trend.
normal. Though.
Yeah.
Like things can become normal.
But what's normal? Like that's what I keep. Like what do you consider to be normal?
I think normal is, it can really be anything. Anything that is accepted in mainstream. That's what I would say.
So basically what people tell us is in fashion or
Right.
what paths you should take and stuff like that. That's normal.
Yeah, like I would say a majority, like popular opinion on a subject.
Yeah, I like that definition. Like the majorities. It does. Why are you laughing?
I'm just listening.
No, because I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Because some people might think that normal is okay,
I understand.
but we're talking about a different type of normal, right? Like,
so break that down for us.
I just think about okay, when people take normal as the only way,
Okay.
because the majority of people would take different paths in their life and say this is where I need to be at this age, this is what I need to have accomplished at this age, this is what I need to do, this is the career path I need to take, this is how I need to take it. Like
It's a formula.
that's considered normal. Yeah, conformity. Like that's considered normal. For some people that might be their passion. So like what's the normal that we talking about that equals slavery? Like I think it's like what you said, like when people start, it's thoughts, ideas, trends that can equal slavery.
Okay, I'm confused because you said for some people it's their passion. What did you mean by that?
Well, if somebody decided to become a doctor, somebody would say that's a normal, like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
But that might be their passion to become a doctor. But in society's eyes, that's successful.
Okay. So
But-
you're saying
But even then,
that's
it's
a
not,
normative job. Like
Yeah.
that's something that's promoted.
now that I
and-
think about it, though, let's dive in. Like, I'm trying to figure out myself as we talk about it, like, because I know what I see in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when people follow trends just to get attention.
Yes, I think for like a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Like community, even though it's like false and superficial.
Yeah.
Like just to feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why I say it's a form of slavery is that, like, especially mental slavery, is that you have no original ideas. You have nothing that pushes you in the morning. You're always looking for somebody to give you direction. So, like, when you wake up in the morning, you're trying to find what's the popular thing to talk about today? What's the popular thing to post? What's the trend I need to jump on? And then, it's an old saying, but like people just call you sheep, like sheeple, because you just follow the herd, you follow the pack. So, I mean, and then conformity puts you in like a lazy state too, where like you're not challenging yourself to think outside the box. So you're kind of like bound to whatever you're told to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever cues are sent, like, out, I guess, from other people or brands or whatever is influencing that person.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that people who conform to what is socially accepted as normal lack initiative, like, altogether, or is it a choice?
I think it's... Say that again? How come...
Okay, so, like, let's say there's, like, this trend, and men are... instead of bow ties, they're wearing little girl hair bows in place of neckties. Do you think that people who follow that trend lack initiative, or do you think, like, they just choose to be a part of it?
That's a good point. I think that's a good point, because I'm trying to dance that line between, okay, sometimes something is in style, but if it's like outrageous and you do it only, it's really to the person, to me. Like, because I know some people that they just like style, I guess.
Okay.
What?
But like every style doesn't look good on everybody.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And so, like, where do you draw the line? Like, what is the determining factor if they were just a sheeple person at that point, or if, like,
I think I don't know if it's something physically, but I know it's something like that we can all recognize. Like when you looking through your timeline on Facebook and Instagram and anything like that, like we know the people that's in our lives that are like those type of people that they're just here for this.
They catch
trend.
the wave.
Yeah, they catch the wave. And then it's two different things. So like, I mean, I think fashion is a really hard one to like narrow down. Yeah. Well,
why do you say that? Why is that so hard?
I think because it's so like personal to the person. Like they may just like it.
Yeah.
So they just do it. But I think what I was talking about, like with normal equals slavery, is that people... Here it is. This is what it is right here. People are scared and fearful to think outside the box.
Okay.
To take their own initiative, like you said. That's the slavery part. Like when you have something deep down in you that you know that you're supposed to do, the vision, the dream that you were given, but instead of doing that, you are scared because you're scared of what people may think. And,
or like it might not work.
Yeah, it might not work, and then you look crazy. But I'd rather look crazy than to live by myself in a box, like worried about what people think. And that's a battle that I deal with daily. Like making sure that I don't do things just for the approval of somebody else.
Right.
Like I think that's where the slavery part comes in. Like people
pleasing.
Yeah, people pleasing. People don't want to take like initiative. Like I believe everybody has something that was given to them that they can change the world with. I think everybody has something inside of them that can change the world.
I agree.
Like even if it's just changing the situation of the neighborhood you live in. Like you have an idea of something. What becomes the conformity to be normal and like into like that mental slavery is that we're scared to... I keep thinking this, like I'm an image person, like we're scared to run off the plantation. Like, because we don't know exactly what's gonna happen out there.
Fear the unknown.
Yeah, like this is all we've known, so we don't run off the plantation. Like, we just stay there with everybody else, doing the same thing over and over every day. But you know deep down that this is not all that you were called to do. This is not all that you were created to do. Mm-hmm. So you don't take that leap and run off the plantation. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, and then the thing about fear too is that everybody experiences it. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody, like, even the people that we think got it all together, they battle with that daily.
Yeah, definitely.
And we could say that they're super successful, like Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavericks. Like, I looked at a documentary about everything that he started, before he became the owner, and the chances he took when the internet was first booming. Like, he didn't know if the internet would be around the next year. Mm-hmm. Like, but he took that chance. He went 100% in. But, I mean, he could have just stayed where he was and just been a computer programmer for the rest of his life, and nobody would have said nothing. Mm-hmm. They were like, well, he got a pretty good life. But you become a slave within your own mind when you know that it's something more for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that. I think conformity has a lot to do with being comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, comfort zones. Like, if we're going to think different, if we're going to do different, like, I think that opens us up to rejection, fear, like you were saying, the unknown. Like, it's uncharted territory. So, like, I've heard a lot of times, like, entrepreneurs use this little saying, like, they jump out of the airplane and have to build their parachute on the way down.
Yeah.
Like, some people don't like being in those type of stressful situations, so it's just like, I don't want to put myself in that type of situation or circumstance. I can't deal with the anxiety. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm just going to float right inside of this little wave, and
I tell you what,
life.
I don't know. I think maybe it's just me, but from my experience, that scares me more than jumping out the plane.
Why?
Like, well, when I worked at JP Morgan Chase, like, it was a good job. I sat at the desk, mm-hmm. and I hated that job. Like, I hated, because I knew that it was so much more, like, that felt like slavery to me. Mm-hmm. Like, having to be there at a certain time, have to do mandatory overtime, and what really pushed me over the edge is when they shut the department down. That's like when it clicked in my mind that I did everything right, but I still got cut because my life, my finances were in the hands of somebody else's company. I was building somebody else's team.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't the owner of my own team. Like, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to be an entrepreneur or needs to quit their 9 to 5. Like, if you find passion in it, that's a different thing, because you can affect your situation or the people around you by being there, because that's where you're called to be.
Right.
Like, but if you hate it so much, and like, here's how I know the people that hate their jobs. When you posting, I can't believe tomorrow Monday, and man, and like showing memes of them running out of work, something like
yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be like
or
that.
Or this how I'm walking out Friday.
Yeah, this how I'm walking out Friday. Or remember that little baby one where he said when you thought your boss had left work, and then the baby
and they go catch him.
No, the baby come around the corner and do like a little surprise face and run back.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like, if you hate it that much, man, like, I mean, at least work from 5 to 9 at night on your own thing.
Yeah.
Work your 9 to 5, then work your 5 to 9. Like, to get out of that slavery, man. Like, I just don't believe that we're put here on this earth to be miserable every time we go do something. Like, not saying that it's not, like, you shouldn't experience hard work. But, like, I feel like that's a form of slavery when you put it in work and you, like, it's physically killing you in it with anxiety and depression. And you can't even, like, I experienced that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember calling you, like, before I would walk into the office sometime, be like, hey, pray for me. Like, and it wasn't no playful thing. Like, I would feel real anxiety. And I was a great employee.
Yeah,
like
award winning.
Yeah, award winning. Like, I moved up a lot, but I just knew that that's not where I was called to be. And I could easily just listen to everybody else, be like, man, that's a good job. Working with JP Morgan Chase, you know, you got your own office, got all this stuff, you know, like, and just been cool with it and just found another banking job. But I just know that being there would have been like my own mental slavery. Yeah. And I think conformity and being comfortable plays a big role in like people's decisions.
I think there's like different types of people though. I think you have like people like yourself, like they're working a job and they intrinsically know like this, there's more and this is not it. And then I think you have people who could work the same job and feel like this is the most they could ever do.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I always preference. Like, if you love it, like, that's great. Like, for me personally, I'd rather take a job that I love paying $40,000 a year than a job I absolutely hate paying $80,000 a year. Like, I'm to that point now where, I mean, and there's so many different opportunities out here for the people that want to pursue their dreams. Like, but I just hate this. Like, I don't know. I just don't find enjoyment in complaining. Like,
I know what you're saying.
Like, okay, if you hate it that much, do something else. But that's another subject. You know, we talking about like just being comfortable and stuff. Like those people that feel that way, that's fine. Like, that's awesome. Like, I'm talking about the people that have these jobs, but you can, everything they say about the job they hate. That gets old. Like, I don't want to be around you. Like,
it does get old.
Like, it takes your energy.
It does.
It takes your energy when people are around you complaining.
But I think that is like,
and that's slavery.
I feel like that's a code word. Like,
for
between
what?
Slaves. Like, the complaints.
Yeah.
Like, when you meet other people, like, I feel like that's a common ground. Like, y'all trade complaints about your job. You know, how miserable you are. What you got to do to cope with it.
Yeah.
And, like,
and
it's like a part of that culture.
And I use the word slavery because I think that's like one of the deepest, lowest forms. Like our ancestors were enslaved, but it's even worse today because we actually have a choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I want to use it, because you actually have a choice in what you do.
Right. And so, like, we can choose to be mentally enslaved, or we can choose to be free and chase what we have a passion for.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not safe. It's not comfortable. But, I mean,
it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as individuality, do you feel like that is just missing altogether? Like, do we not have enough people who are unique in society today? Or, like, where do you think the individual fits into this whole conformity thing and trends?
I think today, like, we live in one of, I always tell people this, like, I feel like we live in one of the best times. Like, people can say what they want about social media and stuff like that, but people expose themselves even if they don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, people can smell the real. So I think we see with social media and stuff like that, we see the unique people, right? We see them doing great things. We see them impacting people. Now the ones that fake it and just follow the trends, we also see them too. But we also see the rest of that timeline. Like, it's not consistent. Mm-hmm. Like, you can see somebody saying, I'm living my best life. They on the beach with a drink. But when the vacation over, they like, I can't stand this job. You know, like,
you're right.
You know, like, you're not living your best life.
Yeah.
Like, so, but you do see the people. Like, one of the people I like to follow is Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, he loves what he does, and it shows throughout his whole timeline. It's consistent. Mm-hmm. So, I think we live in a time where we can see the real and the fake. Like, you can't fake it no more.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I guess I don't have to follow you. Like, you start being negative and stuff, I'm gonna have to take you off the
feed.
Off the feed, because there's no reason to complain nowadays.
So are you feeling like we lost the individual, like, or is it just like a difference? There's only, like, again, like, there's an A and a B population, like a real authentic person, and then there's like the fake trying to fit in person. I definitely think it's an A and a B. Okay. Because, I mean, what do you think? What I think, I agree with you. Like, I can definitely go down my timeline on my platforms and say the same thing. Like, you know, the people that's just fishing for likes, opposed to the people who are like really celebrating the things that's going on in their life. But I mean, to be honest, I'm like, I have my head down working on what I want to do. Yeah. So I don't really trip over it. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's noticed. I'm not gonna say it's not noticed, but, like, you know, it's just a thought that I clicked and saved, and I'm just like, I'm just pushing what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I feel you. I think we both right there. Like, I think it changed for us about probably about a year ago. Maybe well, 2. For me, yeah, about 2 years ago, where it doesn't really matter what people say outside of this partnership. Right. Like, it doesn't matter what people say. Like, we're gonna follow our dreams. We're gonna follow, and we got to put in the work. Like, we got to put in the work, and we got to trust that what's been put into us is real. Like, and I think it's a lot of people that want to fake it till you make it. I don't think that will ever work for anybody. Like, it's a difference between, I think this is another topic. We can talk, like, when people say fake it till you make it, I think some people would take that as, you know, you can't change who you are. You got to be who you are till you make it. You can't fake who you are. But then you get the haters that be like, oh, you changing. But you have to have some type of progress. So, like, when we say fake it till you make it, you got to at least show some progress. I don't think, I hate that. I hate that saying, like, so much. Because, like, what are we faking? Yeah. Like, either you have a vision or you don't. And every day you're going to be a little bit different because you're trying to get closer. So what is it that you faking? Yeah. Like, that's why I don't get. And for the people who are, like, living, like, by that kind of motto, like, I think those are the people we're talking about that we look and see are not authentic. Yeah, it's not consistent. Yeah, in like, a timeline. And you just be like, you lying. Like, you know, like when people used to put money out on Facebook and they, like, fold the ones. Yeah. And stuff, like, you know, like, we know you didn't have that much money. Yeah. You still, like, yeah. You still getting the value brand at. Right, great value at Walmart. Like, don't trip. Like, we seen the food stamps in the back. Like, it's like, you don't have to put up this fake thing. Like, I wish more people would be authentic. But, like, I don't think anybody has to fake anything until they make it. As long as they have a plan, work it. Yeah, I like this era that we in. Like I said again, like, people out here gonna be exposed.
you keep talking this big game, but you're not putting out any progress. Like people see the same thing. Like people can find receipts now.
Yeah.
Like you gotta
Definitely.
show receipts. Like with whatever you're doing, but just to get back to what we were saying, like I think that's another form of slavery. Like, who are you trying to impress?
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that I've always been the person that didn't care what people think. Like, it's a daily thing to be. You first have to be conscious of it.
Yeah, yeah.
To know that what I'm doing is totally for me, my family. Like I'm talking about my wife, my son, and my daughter. Like that's when my family. Like is benefiting, like because one of the things that you'll see is that the people closest to you are gonna be the ones that doubt you. So you got to push through that to not stay in that box. But that's another.
Are you just talking about like people pleasing? Or
Yeah, like and then when you try to step out there and do something greater than what you were doing yesterday, like you're trying to improve, they either gonna say something negative or say that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, even if they're your mom or dad.
Yeah,
like
it could be somebody.
Very close to you to say that you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, and they may think that they have your best interest because they never attack the dreams.
From a good place.
Like man, I remember what was the name of that song? But Aha Gazelle had that song. Like it was just an interlude, and he was saying, "Reach for the stars, go past the moon," like, and basically he was saying, "How are you gonna tell me that I can't do it when you've never done it? I'm doing things that you've never seen, having dreams that you never dreamed. Like you can't. Like what you got inside of you is." Totally for you.
Right. And I think like identity is such a big thing for us in this culture. Like we don't know who we are. Like I mean like even to the beginnings of this country, like the way slavery happened, the way we were separated from our families, like the way that religion has been manipulated. Like I think that we have such an identity crisis. And I think that's part of why we have so many people that latch on to trends and conform to social norms because, like, we don't have an identity and we're searching for one. And so we have to grab onto whatever we can because having identity hurts. Not having an identity hurts.
Yeah.
And not knowing who you are hurts. And not having any bearings hurts because it just feels like you're alone. And so I think like knowing who we are in Christ, number one, if you're a believer, if you're not, that's fine too. But just knowing who you are, like being honest all the way through and through.
Yeah.
I know like I did a period of time where I was doing a weight loss program and like I could not eat when I would usually eat for comfort. Like that was not a part of the regimen. So like I had to deal with some honest thoughts. Like I had to deal with some raw emotions, and it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And it's nothing that you can do with somebody else. You have to do it with yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not completely honest with yourself, you don't get anywhere. You don't grow, you don't mature, you're not gonna progress at all.
Yeah, I think the eye-opening moment for me in my life was I was somewhere and I thought I was a part of something that really was going to change the world, but I saw that everybody didn't have the same passions that I had or ambition that I had or ideas that I had, and that's fine, but I felt like I had wasted 3 years because I probably didn't speak up as much as I should have in the beginning. I didn't make sure that I checked with myself on what I was called to do. I was just always out to accomplish somebody else's goal, and that's fine, like to help somebody.
Why didn't you speak up?
Because probably identity. I was trying to find my identity in in an organization than in what I was called to.
So that was another thought I had about conformity too. Like, you feel like your personal influence is undervalued, and I think it may not be undervalued, but I think it's underdeveloped because we don't realize the amount of influence that we are capable of having, like, in an audience.
I definitely felt like that's what I felt like. I wasn't qualified. I felt like you hit it right on the head with that. And one thing, the reason why I'm so passionate about this now is that it hit me like a ton of bricks. And like, you know how I felt after all that had transpired. I felt like I let my family down because I wasn't going after what I was called to go after. I was trying to find my identity in somebody else's identity, really. Like, and I felt like I wasted 3 years. Now, you told me this before. Like, I really didn't waste it. You know, I learned a lot throughout it, and I learned a lot of stuff not to do. But I also feel like those 3 years I could have been further. You know, but when it hits you. Like, I don't want nobody. And it's really a blessing that I found out earlier than what I did, because you can go to any retirement home right now and speak to some people that have a lot of wishes on their wish list. Really regrets about what they wish they would have done and what they would have changed. And I just don't want I want as many people as I can affect that's around me or listening to this podcast to not have to go through that. Because I believe that, like, going back to the beginning, like, everybody has a purpose to impact the world. And I mean, that brings us to our last point that you put. Nobody can do you better than you. Yeah. Like, nobody can do you better than you. And you have purpose and identity within you, yourself.
It's unique. Our DNA, all of our fingerprints are different. Like, there's
physically it's different.
No one else.
Mentally it's different. Like,
even twins.
Yeah.
Like, they are different when it comes down to their fingerprint and DNA. Like, there's no one else like you. And
don't feel bad about who you are or the thoughts that you have or the ideas that you have. Like, you can change the world with just who you are. Right. Like, imagine if, like, just electricity. What if, I mean, Nikola Tesla it was revolutionary about electricity and what he could do with electricity. And a lot of people thought he was crazy. Like, being able to deliver electricity to different houses. Right. And stuff like that. And we could have still been using candles to this day. Yeah. You know, like he impacted the world because he knew it was something inside of him that said that there's more. That there's something I have to go after despite anybody telling me otherwise. And not saying that you don't get, you don't have mentors and stuff like that. But I say this, like, if your mentors are telling you to, like, ditch your dreams, like, I don't think they mentors in the first place. That's another topic, but, like, I have a whole new perspective on who I listen to. Yeah, it's important. Like, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much experience you have. I'm able to discern if you're giving me good advice by what is already inside of me. A mentor exposes what's inside of you already. A mentor doesn't give you negative ideas. Right. Like, a mentor is supposed to pull it out of you. And I'm getting a little passionate because that's fine. Yeah, that I felt like in my life I had a lot of mentors that thought they meant good, but they were just trying to turn me into a direction that they felt comfortable in. Instead of pulling what was already in me. Now, they might even said that they were trying to pull something out of me. But when I look back at it and the receipts show that all they were doing was trying to steer me into a place that they were comfortable with me. And man, go after it. I see too many people that wish they could do something else. I mean, we have one life.
Yeah. Like, and you're not too old.
Yeah, never too old.
Or too young. Like.
Yep, that's a good point.
There is
nobody can do you better than you.
Yeah.
You can look throughout all history. There's been young people that have done great things. There's been older people that have done great things. Like, it's no limit. It's no excuse. And I'm talking to myself right now. Like, you just got to go and do it and make sure that you filter out. Man, and Gary Vee says this too. Make sure you filter out the boos and filter out the applause. Because you have to filter out both of them.
Yeah.
Because
you gotta have a real understanding of where you really are.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Self-awareness of who you are, what your dream is, and what you want to accomplish. Because if you get caught up in the claps, when you decide to pivot and take it to the next level, and those same people aren't clapping anymore, like, you're gonna find your value in those people that were clapping for you. Like, so, I mean, that's all I gotta say.
So, I think what we're saying in a nutshell is being free is being yourself.
Yep.
In every essence of that word, like yourself, your best self, as true to yourself as you can be, honest to yourself. I even think honest with others, like just being honest. Like, don't put up with things. Don't settle for relationships that aren't going to help you do what you're trying to accomplish. Like, if they don't serve you, then I don't think you should serve them.
And there's really, as we dove into this, like, there's really no such thing as normal.
Right.
Like, there's really no such thing as normal. I'm glad you said that. Like, you're either being who you are, being unique to who you are, or you're following and wanting the identity and praise of others. Like, it's no normal. I don't even know what the definition of normal is. Like, I guess I could look it up, but I don't want to. Okay. But maybe I put it, I don't know. But there's no such thing as normal. Like, it's just not. It's just you being you or you not being you. That's what it boils down to. Do you care about what people think about you? Not saying that you got to have bad character, but I'm saying in the sense of every move you got to measure it against people's acceptance. Mm-hmm. But yeah, nobody can be better than you, basically.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's our episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you click that notification bell so you know when these videos hit the internet. Once again, I'm Jennifer Todd.
I'm Xander Todd.
And this is the Todd Partnership.
Peace.
Bye.